All right, good morning, class. I am Miss Jacklyn Liongson, your English teacher for today. Our meeting is now being recorded for those who can't attend the meeting. So, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing good, Mom.
I'm glad to hear that you are fine, Jessa. What makes you busy these past few days?
I am busy doing my assignments and projects too.
That's great. So, before we begin our lesson, start. Let us start with a brief prayer. Can you please lead the prayer?
Lord, as we gather today at this meeting, we ask that you will be in our midst. Help us to make decisions that will be pleasing to you. Help us to be able to discuss the matters at hand in a reasonable way, and to be willing to give up having our own way. God, let this meeting be productive, and as should be the case in all areas of our lives, help us to keep you at the forefront of our minds as we do the work set before us. Amen.
Amen. So, thank you for that. Again, our few reminders, the four rules that I always mention to you. First is mute yourself except when you have the floor, meaning you can use your microphone while answering, but if you don't, mute it to avoid unnecessary noise. Second is raise your hand virtually for permission to speak as much as possible. One person will talk at a time. Third is keep your video on for attendance purposes, that it is for at the end of our discussion. And lastly, avoid distracting backgrounds or actions so that we can learn more effectively. Are we clear on that?
Yes, Mom.
Again, good morning, and I hope if everyone is fine as we will learn another grammar lesson for this morning. I want you to look at these three sentences. Please analyze these sentences. I will give you a minute, and later I will ask you about it. Okay, Dan,
Yes po.
can someone read these three sentences? Yes, Jessa.
If you hit ice cream, it melts. Ice cream melts if you hit it. When you hit ice cream, it melts.
Okay, thank you. What have you noticed about these three sentences?
The first sentence starts with if and the other one use a comma, while the last sentence starts with when, Ma.
That's a very great observation. But do they mean the same? These three sentences has different meaning or they all they are all the same?
They are all the same, Mom.
Yes, that's right. What else?
The sentence is true and it is seeming like scientific based situation.
That's right. Later, you will know if your observations were right or why we observed that things. So let's go back to our sentences. So what can we say about the sentence? Well, the sentence, this sentence, first sentence is made up with two parts. Okay, the condition, first the condition, and second is the result. If you hit ice cream is the condition and the result it that it will melt. In this example, of course, ice cream always melts when you hit it. So it is a fact. So going back, some of the characteristics are the result is certain. For example, if you heat ice cream, it is certain that it will melt 100%. So every time you heat an ice cream, it will melt. And the condition always the same result. So every time you heat an ice cream, the ice cream will melt. It has the same result every time. It is a fact, and it is like we describe a fact. So the second sentence is just like the first sentence. Ice cream melts if you hit it. The condition is ice cream melts. I know. Ice cream melts is the result, and the condition is if you hit it. Nagkabaliktad lang sila sa second sentence. On the third sentence, when you hit ice cream, it melts. Very good that you notice that the first sentence starts with if and the third is when. First and third sentences is just like the same. Nauna yung condition nila kesa sa results. While the middle middle sentence is different, but it has the same meaning. Okay, let's proceed to the form. Bakit ganun yung ano natin? So we have we have two forms or two ways to have this form. First is the if plus condition plus result. Example, if you hit ice cream, it melts. Another example is if you drink too much wine, you feel sick. Notice that there's a comma after the condition before the result. So again, very good observation that you notice that there's a comma on the sentences. This is the first form. Again, if plus condition plus result. Second form is again the condition ay nauna. There's an underline on the sentences. Second form is yung kabaliktaran niya. Mauuna yung result plus if plus condition. Like this. Ice cream melts if you hit it. And you feel sick if you drink too much wine. Like this one. We can also change the order like this form, but we do not use the comma, unlike the other one. But the meaning is exactly the same, right?
Yes, ma'am.
If you hit ice cream, it melts. It's exactly the same as ice cream melts if you hit it. So this is the two different ways saying the same thing. Is there any question
None so far.
to our forms?
None so far.
Okay, thank you. Let us now move on to the verb tenses. If you hit, okay, again our example is if you hit ice cream, it melts. If you drink too much wine, you feel sick. So the question is, what tenses are the verbs in these examples?
I think it uses present simple.
Very good. It uses present simple. Remember, so why we use present simple? Remember that the present simple or regular action describe facts. But we can also create zero conditional sentences using past simple for regular events from the past. Like this example, if I was naughty, my parents punish me. In this example, I'm talking about something in the past when, for example, when I was a child. So I am saying that whenever or if I was naughty, my parents punish me, meaning every time I was naughty, my parents always punish me. We can see the past simple here, was and punish with ed form. So this is also a zero conditional. If you have any questions or clarification, let me know. Okay. We will now proceed to the next one. We can replace the if with when. Like what you notice on our examples, we use when. We can use when because remember that in zero conditional, the result is always happening when the condition is always true. So again, the example is if you heat ice cream, it melts. And another sentence is when you heat ice cream, it melts. These two sentences are exactly the same. It's like different ways saying the same thing. If and when, it's just like the same. So you have any questions?
Wala pa naman.
So why we discuss these things? Are we on a science class? No. It's because we'll be discussing zero conditional sentences. I mentioned it a few times earlier. And zero conditional can begin with if and when. So let us define zero conditional. Can you please read this?
Zero conditional sentences describe facts or things very likely to happen.
Thank you. We define zero conditional as a actions that are always true when the condition are satisfied. It is like describing facts or things that is very likely to happen. And we are still in our English class. It's just that in using zero conditional sentences, it is always need the situation or things that is 100% true or fact. So if you have any more, if you don't have any more question, let us have a short activity. And I'm hoping for your active participation. Are you guys ready?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's do this. Make the zero conditional. First, please read the sentence and try to answer it. First is,
If I blank late, I blank late for work.
so what do you think is the form of the verb wake up and the verb be?
If I wake up late, I'm late for work.
So let us check if your answer is correct. If I wake up, that's right. Wake up is in its simple, simple, present simple tense. And your answer on the second part is I'm
I'm late.
I'm late. That's correct. So if I wake up late, I'm late for work. So next sentence. The the verb is cook and the other verb is burn. What do you think is the form? If we try to use the present simple.
If my husband cooks, he burned the food.
That's right. Okay, let's check. There is a S on the verb because it is a present symbol and he burned. Very good. Next one.
If children don't eat well, they are not healthy.
Okay, let us check. Don't eat and are not healthy. Very good. I guess you really enjoy the topic. The next one. The verb is mix and get. What do you think it is?
If you mix water and electricity, you get a shock.
Let us check that. If you mix water and electricity, you get a shock. That's right. The last one. Sorry for the typogrammatical error. It's number 5. If people blank eat too many sweets, they blank fast.
If people eat too many sweets, they get fat.
So let us check. Eat too many sweets. That's right. I am great. I am glad that you are really listening to me. And I think this is the end of our discussion. Please remember what we've discussed because we have a short quiz on the next meeting. Do you have any more questions?
None so far.
If none, please check your Google Classroom to see your assignment. And thank you for attending this class. I hope you learned something.